Well,
Wow.
yeah. What are your overall thoughts then of the whole thing?
Of the whole thing, so yeah, let's go back here in time. The entire conference, I dug it. It seems like they're really focusing on the announcements. I liked how they would kind of pair a bigger announcement with more of the indie stuff, then go back
Yeah.
and forth. They kept
Yeah.
teasing us with those little symbols, and we knew that was going to reveal something. Eventually, we got to
Hmm.
see the console.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a proper next gen reveal. I'm really
Yeah.
excited with how they pulled this off because this is what we've wanted. And Xbox didn't really provide that, and so it's cool for them to. They held all the announcements and they just put out huge announcement after huge announcement. We got to see games coming up. We got to see gameplay, and then seeing that console, and then seeing such a radical change in design for that console too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I don't think it really could have gone any better. I mean, obviously, I'd like to have seen Resistance, but yeah, I think it was exactly what it needed to be. We're still a way away. Well, I say away, about 6 months or so away from. Sorry, my PC's about to start playing the Last of Us behind the scenes thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're still a way away from the actual console itself. So I think for how far away we are, we got a good glimpse at a lot of things, and they all seem to be. I didn't see actually the release date for Horizon. What did that
No,
say?
they didn't show it. I
Oh,
think they're
okay.
waiting on that one. I would
Yeah,
say 2021 if I were to
yeah,
imagine. But yeah,
yeah.
they're just
I don't know. I don't think we like to come away from that. There's not really a massive launch library that I think is that great. Um, I
That's
would
true.
have
I think
liked
you're
to have.
right. I mean, we did. They did say that Spider-Man, Miles Morales, is going to be holiday 2020. So we have
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't know if Gran Turismo. I'd have to check again if that was
yeah,
confirmed for holiday 2020.
yeah,
Ratchet and Clank. I wasn't sure if that was for launch.
yeah,
You're right. I have to scrub through. And now
yeah.
that is when they release all those different like
I
press
think
releases
I
too.
think Ratchet was, and I think Gran Turismo was as well. But even still, it's like I don't know. I'm not sure that that's quite. I think you really need like a. I mean, I'm sure Spider-Man is probably going to be bigger than maybe I'm thinking it is going to be. But I would have really liked to have seen at least a Killzone or something just really, really exciting for a launch title. But again, there might be a lot more announcements to be made, and yeah, I think overall it was good, and I'm really glad we got to see the console, and I think it looks cool. I think it's cool. I did have digital version. Yeah, I think overall it was good. They focused on the right things. Um, it's a big, big contrast to the Xbox games reveal. But
Yeah.
then again, I think the argument to have on that side of things is that Xbox conference was never marketed as a Xbox like exclusive. It was more of some next gen games, but I think even saying that it was a bit uh, not great on that in that aspect as well. But yeah, so I think overall it's good. A far better offering than the Xbox One for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Now let's talk about that console. So I have an image of the full suite, at least on the stream, but I don't know
Yeah,
if you can find one on your end too. Of just it
yeah,
has
yeah,
the standard next to the all digital. I think it's interesting to pick apart the fact that they're launching with the standard and the all digital. Looks like day one. How do you feel
yeah.
about giving that option? Does that splinter, the market a little bit? What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's the absolutely right thing to do. I think digital games are very fastly taking over the sort of main way of people consuming and buying their games. Um, so yeah, I mean it goes back to like the things we say a lot of the time where you look at Google Stadia, which it doesn't give you the choice to download games. You have to stream them. So this isn't saying you have to buy games digitally. It's saying
Right.
we still acknowledge that people like to get limited edition games and like steelbook cases and all these hard copies of games. So I think it's cool that they're appreciating that. And you never know, we might see something akin to PC games where you can still buy it hard copy, but then you just have a product key inside that you type in and get it digital. So there might be like a DMR kind of thing there as well, so that people can still collect games. But because I like the idea of having physical games, I just hate. I like being able, especially if we're going to have a ultra fast UI and ultra fast operating system. You want to be able to switch games quickly, and you can only do that if you've got the games digital. You can't
Right.
switch. If we have this ultra fast UI, like there's no point in it being ultra fast because you've still got to get the disc out and then find the game you want to do, get the disc out of there, put it in it. It just renders a fast, innovative UI completely useless. So I think for me, I understand that I think digital's definitely like the future and the way that these things are, kind of meant to be used now. Especially when you look at PCs, they're all digital. So yeah, I think, but then again, I think it's good that they're giving people the choice because like I said, that they acknowledge that people do still have discs or don't have good internet connections and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the perfect way to go.
And really, with the digital or with the disc version, the discs are really just a way to transfer the game to the hard drive. Because even when you
Yeah,
have a game on disc, it still has a copy of everything to the hard drive. Especially now, we have these super fast SSDs that rely on all that info quickly accessible. It's got to be on the hard drive. So it's really just there for if you don't have an internet connection. It's a way to deliver that game to the actual
yeah,
hard drive. I
yeah.
wonder though, with the digital edition, will we see a stronger or like a larger SSD compared to the disc one? I'm hoping there is some kind of balance there, maybe because if the fact that you have that 4K Blu-ray drive, it's going to be a certain price, right? So if you
Yeah.
remove that, it may not necessarily be cheaper. I'm hoping that they just keep the prices on both models the same. You just get a bigger hard drive, and that's how they balance out those two different models.
Sure.
But now the next debate is, I wonder what the price, how this affects the price with two different models, one having a
Hmm.
disk drive, one not. We keep hearing that $500 price floating around.
Yeah.
Does it mean that it's 500 or 550 or, vice versa? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I think that the design is definitely maybe a way to, charge a lot of money and not get as many repercussions because that looks expensive. Like that
It does.
looks like it's worth a lot of money. But yeah, I'd imagine you're still looking at least £500, even for the digital edition, or $500. Yeah, and yeah, and I think it looks. I'm just looking at the photos now. It just looks so futuristic and so expensive. And if you look at that against the Xbox Series X, I mean, it just visually, aesthetically, it just looks like the true next gen console. I'm not just saying that because I mean, I like Xbox and everything, but it just does look like completely in a league of its own, and that's just from the visual aspect, not the Xbox Series X might, you never know, in a few years' time hold better exclusives or whatever, but just from a visual standpoint, that the PS5 looks just so much the superior console.
Yeah, you're right. With the Xbox, they've taken a different, creative design with the Xbox Series X, where it looks like more of a beefy PC tower versus
Yeah,
anything else. And with PS5, this is like a completely different next gen console. They've gone with a really unique design, as you would expect from something that is next generation. And
yeah,
Xbox is leaning on more of just like a PC style of delivering
yeah,
this box to you. But
yeah,
yeah, as I look at it, it's definitely futuristic. It's definitely demanding kind of a higher price because it seems more higher end. I like the curves integrated with the
yeah.
angles and stuff. I don't know. It's as I process it, I don't know how I feel honestly. I mean, I'm still positive, but I wonder if this is iconic enough to like stand the test of time. If this is something that will
Mm,
change, with like a PS5 Slim, I wonder what they will end up reducing these features to. Like if you look at the
yeah,
PS4 original, the launch one, some of those features were kind of minimalized when they did the next one, and that's a standard thing. So I could expect that too. But
yeah,
I don't know, it's different, and I can't talk shit about it because I was the one who was also like, bring the boomerang controller back and bring the PS5 dev kit that was leaked a while ago with like the V pizza shape holder thing in there. I was like,
yeah,
I want
yeah,
that to be a launch console. So I can't
yeah,
also be a negative with the fact that this is something different because I did want something different. But now that I
yeah.
see it, I'm also kind of having to, just like if you were to meet an alien for the first time, it's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I have to process this because it's so different.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and I just think it's cool to just. I mean, it's a talking point in itself, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, it was always going to be a talking point, but just the sheer futuristic style of it, and I think it lends itself to how Sony have been talking about it. I mean, you had the guy at the end saying, they're really treating this as the future, like this is your first look at, next gen, and they're really respecting the fact that this is, future tech, and it's yeah, it does seem like they're really like respecting the fact that this is us moving forwards in terms of technology. Um, well, from a console perspective, anyway. Yeah, I love it. I think it actually reminds me a little bit of PCs. Some of these
Like
stranger PC
Alienware.
cases. Yeah, yeah, I really like it. Um,
Now, it
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
excited.
look flat on either side. It looks pretty much rounded, slight bevels and round edges on each side. I don't know if this is something that can be put
Yeah,
laying down. Like they have that holder there. That's how they're showing it off in the image, that little like stand for it. But I don't know if it's something that we can lay down, unless it's just going to be like slightly rocking the whole time if it is
yeah,
laid down. But it's too early to tell. But it's not a
yeah,
deal breaker for me. Like especially with the Xbox Series X, that thing, I don't know if that can be laid down either. That's a tower that's like, it seems like it's made to
yeah,
stand up because of the venting and all that. Maybe this
yeah,
is the same situation with PS5.
yeah.
No,
I
it's for
I
sure
do
it's different.
I do like the Xbox Series X. I think it looks cool. I think it's quite what's the word? Like it's not too in your face or anything, and
Yeah,
um, but I think when you're spending this much money, because they're going to be expensive, and you spend this much money, and you're going to be like, you always get that feeling with a new console where you just like feel like you're in the future. I remember it with the PS4. I remember it mostly with the PS3, just because of the jump between those two. You want it to look like something from space. Like you want it to like add to that
right.
like giddy feeling of like new technology and new games and just new things you've never seen before. And I think that, imagine getting that delivered, setting it up, seeing it all light up and everything. Like you're just going to feel like so good about it. Whereas with the Xbox Series X, I mean, you're just going to buy that and be like, oh yeah, this is a cool upgrade to my Xbox One. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just like you're just getting an upgrade to what you previously had. The PS5 looks like it's going to be like, this is like a brand new like system, and it's going to light up and look amazing. And yeah, I think what the console looks like is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that they've nailed it. And whether or not you think it, like I think it looks nice or you think it looks nice, you can't disagree that it looks completely different.
You know what? And if we were to kind of go back in time, like if we look at the original PS1, that is a very unique shape and
Mhm.
color aspect, and you got the roundness to it, the edges. If you move further to the PS3, they also
Yeah.
were kind of throwing a different design out there. So there, this is also in line with Sony to take these chances
Mhm.
and to create a different looking box. And with say the nearest competitor, which is Xbox, they kind of do stay with this traditional rectangular box, and it kind of stays like that. And yeah, it's got beefy hardware, but visually it looks pretty much the same. And this is them, Sony, really doing what Sony does with changing the next iteration and making something look
Yeah.
like it's the next step.
Yeah. I think it's just like what you were saying. I think the Xbox One, it does feel like just an upgrade to your current thing. A PlayStation 5 should never feel like an upgrade to your current PlayStation. It should feel like a completely new thing, like not an upgrade at all. Like if I was to upgrade my computer, I'd take a component out and put a new component in. But if I bought a whole new computer, that's a completely different story. Um, and I think that by having such a drastically different looking machine, I think that just adds to the whole next gen thing. I think it makes it more attractive to buy. It makes it definitely more attractive to spend, 500 if it's going to be that much on. Um, yeah, I think that they've dealt with it really well, and I think that their like, optics have been spot on. And as much as we all gave them some shit for how long they've taken to reveal things, I think now that they have revealed it, it feels like it was pretty much a genius stroke to leave it as they have, and they've
Yep.
just ticked all the boxes really.
Yeah, no, it's we're in the future, man. It's very
Yeah,
interesting to process this in real time. So
yeah,
some of the comments here. So we have Sam Turner. I'm down for the digital edition. Looks much sleeker. Probably the symmetry. Ben Carter
yeah.
saying, looking at the disc slot, looks long. I suspect to a 2 terabyte digital edition, also from Sam Turner.
Hmm.
So this is Mr. X McFloppy says, kind of looks like the old skyboxes. Is that a British European thing? I feel like I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
so yeah, Sky TV is like our TiVo, our like cable, our main like cable TV kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And yeah, the Xbox One always gets bullied for looking like an old Skybox. Although looking at the PS5, it does kind of resemble what I remember an old Sky. So I don't know if he's talking about the PS5 or not, but the Xbox One definitely has always been bullied for looking like a Skybox as well.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, it's cool to finally be here and see this thing.
Yeah.
And I like that they didn't go with a traditional rectangular design. This is something that's different, and I want this. I do want to feel like when I bring this console home, if I can ever get my hands on it, that it is this next step, this new thing. It is visually stunning to where if you have this kind of like center in your household, it's gonna divert attention. People are gonna see that, go, what is that, and be super curious.
Yeah.
And I think they're also going for that kind of thing too.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. Alex just said it's got the PlayStation logo on the side opposite to the disc tray. To me, that indicates it won't be able to be put on its side because why put a logo there if it can't be seen? Yeah, I think that I was thinking that.
Is that logo also cut out, or is that just a black logo?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's like a. What do you mean? Like, is it like embedded into the
It looked like from the
console?
from the end of the stream where they're showing off like actual 360 views of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it was cut out, and the black you're seeing is the inside, and it's like
Yeah.
just cut through the plastic. I'm not sure, but I have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find.
Yeah, I
Try to
think it
find
did
like
look like, kind of like onto the
footage.
vent kind of thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's a good point though because the bottom of the PS4, even though the PS4 can be stood up, the bottom looks like a bottom. I mean, it has the like four little rubber stands, so it doesn't like damage your side or damage the console.
that's true.
It doesn't look like there's anything there to stop it damaging. I think something Sam said though is he said potentially got some odd looking horizontal stands, so that could be a thing as well. Maybe a stand for people who want to lie it down. Maybe like one of those sort of like I remember I had like the Fallout 4 limited edition. It came with like a Pip-Boy, and that had some sort of like curved stand that sort of like
Gotcha.
went with the curve of the actual. Oh, he's posted a link. Where have you posted that link?
I have a video trailer going on as well too, so it's that same last bit of the trailer. So if you want to, I don't know if you're seeing the stream now. I have it paused, but it looks like it is a perforation. Okay, I switched screens.
I've just sent you a picture of the skybox that looks like the PS5.
Okay, gotcha. I'll pull that up. But yeah, so that I froze on the image itself. It looks like it is cut out of the plastic, and then there's you can see like actual detail where it's thin plastic that's cut, and you're seeing the blackness of like that inside of the PS5.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think that where like the LEDs are, that maybe it will like light up and or light will come out of there as well. That could be quite cool. But yeah, no, that does look really nice.
And you have the not HDMI. You have like the USB things on the front. I feel like plugging anything into the front is going to take away from the design. I don't want to see like stuff hanging on the front of this, like dongles or like wires, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know where this link is that Sam's talking about. What PNG link?
Sometimes the link, the chat will already will remove links. I think that's a default.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, Sam, if you send me that PNG outside of YouTube, I'll be able to find it. But yeah, lots of people there's lots of photos of the skyboxes already now, so that will be that looks like the sort of potential meme that will be going around.
There's a lot of texture in the white plastic part too. So when they're doing that zoom in on the trailer, there's a lot of like texture in it. So I don't know if that's the same texture you're gonna find in the DualSense, where you actually grip it, but it looks like that's carrying over.
Yeah. Oh, he sent me something. Oh yeah, okay. I'll send you this. So yeah, it does look like there is a horizontal stand then.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. If you want to send it to me into the doc.
So the top one's the skybox, just so you don't get confused, because they do look very similar.
Gotcha. I am pulling that up right now. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's very pixelated, but that is basically a skybox. I'm gonna post that up here. Here we go. Yeah. So wow. Okay. Interesting. So they might have just been studying next to him, like, okay, let's borrow some of this idea.
Hey, I mean, that's a nice skybox for sure.
There's also a stand here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it is possible. It looks like the stand itself creates a flat bottom and a curved accepting point. So even though it's curved, it like allows it to rest on that stand, and that seems like how they're doing it. It looks even weirder from the side. Like it looks super futuristic from the side.
Ben, I think it has one ultra fast USB 3, so like the supercharged USB slots you get in motherboards, and I think the other one's just a USB-C, so I imagine the controller will come with a USB-C to USB-C cable, just because they're so much quicker charging and things. So looks like we've got the choice to use USB 3 or USB-C, which is nice.
And the DualSense itself has a USB-C charging point on it too, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'd be hopeful that the controller itself will come with a USB-C to USB-C because that
Right.
connection's a lot quicker. But yeah, sideways does look quite nice. To be honest, it looks quite. But especially the disc. I think the way the disc tray works on its side with that stand looks quite cool because it's sort of like I don't know. It looks, but I don't know. I can't really explain. But the way the disc drive sort of is on the bottom and then it sort of like waves up, I think that
Yeah.
looks quite nice. But I think I'll still get the digital one and stand it up because that I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the full effect is when it's standing up, for sure. Yeah, and that slide in disk drive just seems like the what we're used to with the PS4 with the PS4 Pro. It's that same kind of concept there with the
Yeah.
actual components. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, it's
Sam just said DualShock 4s literally don't come with the cables when you order them. Yeah, that's
that's true.
I always think about how like every single cable that's like out there in the wild that people use to charge their controllers. I mean, I don't know whether you've still got your original PS4
Oh no,
controller
that
charger,
thing. I don't
but
know
like
what happened to it.
yeah, I don't like. Do you reckon they even exist anymore, like the official PS4 ones, or because every single person I go to either are very low on cables for controllers, or they have like
Right.
this ultra long, like really dodgy one that you've got to like keep wiggling around. Um,
Yeah. That's
so
what I
yeah,
never liked about the DualShock 4 is that when you charge it, if you just plug it in, it rests on that charging point and kind of
yeah,
like messes with that little accepting port for the
yeah,
USB-C or USB-A or whatever it was called.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping they switch
USB-C
it up.
is much better. It's such a nice. It's and also you're never gonna have to like look at it and worry what side it goes in because it's like both
Exactly.
sides.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice. That'd be nice for lazy people like me who doesn't want to put discs in their console and doesn't want to have to flip their USB around.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I like that they're coming out with the two different versions of it because, yeah, we're both in the same boat where we kind of prefer the digital experience where you can just flip through your games. You don't have to worry about
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
So I'm already right off the bat with gravitating towards that. I know someone in the
yeah,
chat mentioned the possibility of a 2 terabyte hard drive. They haven't confirmed yet what the size is, but if you're
no,
going all digital, if we're moving into the future here, and all these
yeah,
games are going to demand a higher hard drive space. Look at a fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare is
yeah,
already 200 gigabytes, and that's a current gen
yeah,
title. So with these games all having this demand of like 80 gigabytes or more, and if you're going all digital, you're gonna need a beefy hard drive. So I'm really
sure.
hoping. I mean, 1 terabyte might be the standard, but really 2 terabytes is what you need to like future proof it a little bit, but really like 4 terabyte. But these are also super fast SSDs, which are expensive. So I don't know
Yes,
how they're going to
yeah.
be able to increase that
Well,
capacity.
they're completely custom SSDs, aren't they? So I don't know
Right.
whether because what I remember what Mark Cerny said was something like 960 gigabyte SSD or something, so near enough a
Yeah.
terabyte. But I don't know whether the SSD, the like custom part of the SSD, is separate from the actual SSD that holds the like the handles sort of data storage. Um, so I don't know whether that's going to be separate. So you just replace it with a normal, MV2 SSD or whatever they're going
Oh,
to
sure.
use, and then the SSD that's used for rendering and everything is already just part of the chipset inside. Um, but it could also be like another Vita where they have this monopoly on this specific component and they're going
Yeah.
to charge a huge amount of money for like a really you for this custom drive. So I hope it's not like that. But yeah,
Well, I
you'd
remember
hope
in
that the
the Cerny
digital.
thing, Mark Cerny did say that they are going to allow people to swap in and out, but they have to be like certified speeds that are compatible.
Yeah,
But really, you mentioned like going with a proprietary thing. That's what Xbox is doing with their little memory chip things. Remember seeing footage of
yeah,
that, like these little proprietary memory cards. So really, Xbox is going that route, and Sony
yeah,
seems to be going where you can swap out things, but it's very small window of things that they accept,
yeah.
but it is swappable.
Yeah, see, I'm hoping that the SSD having to be a certain type is to do with just the sheer speed of the UI and the operating system, um, because obviously, I mean, it's the same with the PC. I mean, you get an SSD, but Windows on it, and then Windows is much faster. So I'm hoping that that's just a standard that they're holding the PlayStation 5's operating system to. So you need an SSD of certain speed to so that it runs as it's meant to. I'm hoping that it's nothing to do with the SSD technology that's used in rendering these games because I'd imagine that would need to be like custom set into the chipset like straight away. I mean, I'd imagine, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know because it does seem to be. I mean, when they did the Unreal demo and they talked about it in detail, it seemed to be that it is a very custom manufactured sort of bit of system engineering. So
That's true.
um, so hopefully the replaceable SSD is just for storing your games and storing your operating system.
Yeah, and I guess I want to say on that same Mark Cerny thing they did for GDC, they mentioned that it's still going to accept external hard drives, but that's for like playing your PS4 catalog, and then it
Yeah,
pulls from that. But if it's anything on PS5, it has to be on their actual super fast SSDs. But
yeah.
maybe you can kind of store, you can have your external storage, and you can move them around and place
Hmm.
them on the SSD when you need to play this
Yeah,
game. I mean, that's going to take a lot of time to transfer that, but
yeah.
maybe that's how they work around that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So hopefully, I'm sure it'll be easy to swap the drives in and out. I'm just worried about what the drives are that you have to get. That's the only problem.
Gotcha.
But yeah, hopefully, and yeah, you'd imagine the digital one would probably be a bit bigger. But you did also mention earlier about how disk doesn't really stop the amount of hard drive real estate it takes up. So
Yeah.
um, perhaps they should both be just as big as each other. I don't know, but
That's true.
a terabyte's not big enough. Definitely not.
It's not. It used to be, but it's really not, especially with all these
Yeah.
games demanding so much more. But a terabyte normal hard drive was cheap enough to have that
Mm.
stock, or 2 terabyte was cheap enough. But when you're dealing with SSDs, they're just so expensive. And you mentioned these
Yeah.
are custom made things, so I don't know where that puts the price.
Yeah.
I'm confident they'll nail that $500 mark, but yeah, I'm just not sure beyond that with attaching other things to it or swapping things out where that
Yeah.
raises the price.
Yeah.
Now they also showed a camera too. I remember hearing these are rumors a month ago that there was plans to launch with a camera but that they removed plans for that to kind of like prioritize getting everything out, especially with like Corona stuff happening. But with that launch lineup, they show this headset. They also show a camera, an HD camera.
Hmm.
It doesn't say the camera is for anything specifically, but I would assume it's for VR or for something else like that. But it just says HD camera.
Yeah. The camera looked pretty cool as well, to be honest. The the headset looked really nice. I
Yeah.
thought it looks really comfortable. I've been sort of looking for a new headset for a while, so I might hold out for that because that looked really cool. The remote was a bit of like a PS3 era
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't really see the point in that, but yeah, I thought that was a bit odd. But no, the headset and the camera looks cool. I don't know whether the camera will be later linked with the new VR headset that's
Sure.
undoubtedly going to come out. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Also, I'd like to see them lean more into streaming because that's really what everyone's doing now. Everyone's streaming gameplay. So if you can have your camera and maybe even have software on the device itself that lets you do picture in picture streaming, because there is that capability on the PS4, but it's
Yeah,
still very sluggish and slow. You don't have a lot of options with how you can manipulate it. So I'm also hoping that as we learn more information, that they'll have a focus on streaming and
yeah,
or maybe there isn't that demand for it, but I think there is a demand for it.
yeah. I'd love to see something like Discord as well,
Mm-hmm.
integrated into it because Discord's such a. I mean, it doesn't work too great for me, but I think that's just because of my current like internet problems. But it's such a great app because people can use it on their phone, on their computer, and
Right.
if it's put in with the PlayStation, then you'll be able to talk to friends. I could be on my computer and talk to friends on PlayStation, vice versa. It would just be such a a nice integration to have, but I have no idea about anything to do with that, so that's just completely hypothetical.
Now I wonder they showed off the headset, and that's one thing that they're really focusing on. And Mark Cerny did as well, is this 3D audio and this ability they could do with like ray tracing, with creating this really unique sense of audio. But I wonder if it's really going to be tied to their devices, because they can really work on this HD, this advanced audio all day. But if you plug in these basic headphones, or if it's coming out of your TV speakers, I don't think you're going to get that effect that they're promising. So I
No,
feel like you
yeah,
are going to have to focus on either their first party stuff or their third
yeah.
party sanctioned devices that will take advantage of that technology.
I think what the main thing is that the controller is 3D audio compatible because I remember I had the PS4 headset which has 3D virtual surround sound, but it only worked wirelessly. If you could still plug an aux cable into your PS4 controller, but then the sound quality would diminish hugely because you're using the the sound chip of the controller really.
Gotcha.
Whereas when it's connected via USB to the PlayStation 4 and it's wireless, it's far better surround sound. So I think that means that you can use other 3D audio headphones or headsets or whatever, and then plug them straight into the controller and they'll still work. Um, which I think is what they said. I mean, I could be wrong, and that may make the controllers, and that's one thing I'm worried about is how expensive these controllers are going to be because they seem to be all singing, all dancing.
Right.
So that might be, I
because
mean,
the standard DualShock 4 is what, $60, like, or US $60 is like the normal retail. But I would imagine you could demand $70-$80.
Easily
in that range.
Yeah, I mean it's probably not far off like Xbox Elite. Is it the Elite controllers, whatever they're called, the special controllers, which they're like
features.
They're like $100, aren't they? So
at least, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you can imagine that, but yeah, I mean we'll see. It'll be. I'm really interested in the price of everything, not just the console, but the controllers and the headset and the camera and just I'm guessing the charging dock probably won't come with the console. I'm guessing that's an accessory because I know that Sony never had their own charging dock. You'd always have to get a third party one, so it's cool that there's going to be like a first party supported thing like that. But yeah,
now,
I'm so excited.
I'm reading some updates on Twitter. So I'm seeing the Resident Evil Village, which was one of the last games they showed off. That's coming to PS5, Xbox Series X also, and Steam in 2021. So it looks like they're going to give another update in August from Capcom.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so also Call of Duty 2020 will not be announced for a while. This is from Jason Schreier. He's also updating on Twitter. So, and that was one of my theories is we're going to see some kind of Call of Duty announcement with the PS5. I guess that's not coming for a while. But yeah, what do you think of the games they showed off? I feel like they're a lot really proper next gen. You got Ratchet and Clank, which looked fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
We talked about Killzone. The next Killzone looking really nuts. They showed off Spider-Man looking really nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they all looked really great. I think there was a good variety in there. They didn't focus too long on sports as well, which I like. I know that people love these sports games, but I don't think they're the same kind of people tuning into this. It's like when they show like FIFA at E3. Like, yes, everyone plays FIFA, but no one is watching E3 for FIFA. Do you know what I mean? So I think I think they dedicate a good amount of time to that. I think they're really. I think their optics are spot on. I think they know exactly what they needed to focus on, what they needed to spend time talking about. I think all the games look great, except that furry game.
The cartoony furry game, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. But yeah, no, I think they all look great. And that was it Kena or Kenna, the sort of Disney Pixar looking game.
Oh, I don't remember
with the cute little black things.
Yeah, and it's like where you control them or you're moving them around. Yeah, Kenna, you're right about that. Yeah.
That looked really cool as well. Yeah, I think it was a great showcase for what's to come. And like I said, I just think that it would have been nicer to get like a really solid, these are the launch games kind of thing. But we can wait for that. That can come at a later time. And seeing Housemarque was a big highlight for me.
That was cool.
Really, really excited to see more of that game. What was it called? Returnal or something? Returnal?
Yeah, Returnal. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. That's I love the name. I think it looks really cool. Overall, I'm really pleased with the game showing. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think they have mentioned they're going to show off. Obviously, they have more to show off because we haven't seen a price yet. So we're going to see more this summer. I wonder what their time frame now is. We have July is slated for Xbox Series X. They're going to have like a first party event. I don't know if we wait until then to see more information on PS5. If that is maybe maybe we're going to July, we're going to August. But at a certain point, they're going to have to release the price so that people can start pre-ordering them. If we go back to PS4, when that launched at E3, you could pre-order then and there. Like you mentioned, that was like 7 years ago to the date where you could do that. So I think they have to get them in line, those pre-orders in line during the summer, so they can get ready for that fall release.
Yes, I think, and also they've already. It's already pretty much confirmed that it's going to be restricted stock as well. So, maybe they're not too worried about when they're going to do it, because I'm sure there's enough hype for them to sell through these things. I doubt they're going to have. I know with everything going on that it's a tough time for everybody,
Yeah.
and sales definitely won't be up. But if they're going to restrict the stock, I don't think they're going to have any problem selling through these things. Because I mean, it's unfortunate, but there's so many ways to spread out costs nowadays. There's so many ways to get yourself in debt to sort of spend money you don't have, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. And that's
Yep.
I'll be using PayPal credit to secure mine, and then worry about that over a monthly basis.
There you go. That's how we do it over here in the States too. We don't
Yeah,
worry about
yeah,
it until
yeah,
it's every other
yeah.
month.
It's a problem for future you.
Right. Do you think then? So with this event, they announced it a week or really like 4 or 5 days before it happened. Of course, they pushed it originally. It was last week. But do you imagine the same kind of thing for their next reveal event? They say it's like Monday or Tuesday and say, hey, by the end of the week, we're going to show you some more footage, or do they tease it longer, or will we expect a kind of like out of the blue update from Sony?
Well, they've sort of broken the ice now, haven't they? I think that
Yeah.
means that when they do like state of plays, it's going to be normal for them to show PS5 stuff. So maybe like a state of play next to show off maybe Resistance 4 or something.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, maybe a state of play to show off, a bit more of these games. Maybe a little bit more gameplay for Spider-Man, a little bit more gameplay for Returnal, a little bit more of something else.
Right.
But I think in terms of when they're going to show, give an actual date of when it's coming and let you pre-order it. I don't know. I don't know whether they might just drop that. I doubt they would. They might want to do that live with an audience or something, and they might want to be holding out to that. But yeah, I think from now on you can expect PS5 stuff in state of plays and just things dropping randomly. I think
Yeah.
that this is the icebreaker that was necessary to allow that kind of thing to happen.
Right. Right. Man, yeah, I think they expertly crafted this buzz, this hype for this event. They kind of own the conversation right now for the next, I don't know, a good month and a half until Xbox has a rebuttal. I mean, what a perfect way to do this. And there was a lot of criticism, even from us, before. It's like,
Yeah.
we want to see this thing where we're desperate for information, but by making everyone wait until they're ready, and maybe also by things out of their control, they built this hype up, and now it's just they control the narrative online. Everyone's going to go bash it insane, also comparing the console to whatever thing they found online, and like
Yep.
all that. The internet just kind of also feeds into the hype and keeps the advertising machine rolling, even while Sony
Yeah.
just backs away.
And this is where the console, beginning is won and lost, because this is where Xbox One, lost it at the start. I don't mean lost it in like a win-lose, but I mean lost like the momentum. Was when they were like, oh, we're digital only. There's going to be DMR on all of our games, and all of this, all these things that put people off, which allowed PlayStation 4 to really take that lead at the start, which doesn't always work. I mean, you saw it with PS3. PS3 obviously got off to a really rocky start with their price and not really anything to show for it. But then, after a while, exclusives started coming out, and PlayStation 3 started to, overtake. So the start isn't everything, but this is what This is where I was expecting Sony to slip up for sure. And I don't think they have. I think they've done a really good job. I don't think Xbox has slipped up either. I don't know. I think that it's still fairly neck and neck. I think PlayStation just have the edge because they've revealed more. Because Xbox is still yet to reveal their exclusive games. But I just think PlayStation have that slight edge at the moment. But I don't think it's like I don't think anyone's lost any momentum or anything. I think both sides are making extremely compelling reasons to be excited for them.
Yeah, and Sony really understands that their strong suit is these first-party titles, and that's what they came out of the gate showing, is all these first-party titles, a reason to buy the console in the first place, and Xbox hasn't been doing that as well. They've been showing off the power, they've shown the insides, the outsides, everything, but when it comes to the games, which is how are you going to sell this console in the first place, they haven't been as vocal. So, but I think that's the thing that they understand, and so that's not a ball they want to drop this gen, because they did last gen for sure. I trust that they're definitely going to, pay attention and change their ways.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see Halo. I think the fact that they've got Master Chief Collection, which on PC, which has created a huge buzz, and they've still got Halo 3 and ODST and Halo 4 to even come out on that on PC. So they've got this like good sort of timeline of Halo to get through before Halo Infinite to keep that buzz alive, and
Right.
it's certainly keeping me excited. I mean, I've been playing through the Halo Master Chief Collection on PC, playing through some Halo Reach and Halo 1, and I'm going to be playing Halo 2 soon. So I'm really excited for Halo Infinite because of that. So I think they've definitely got their teeth in some good stuff. I just think PlayStation have got a lot more to offer. And but Xbox have invested in so many studios that we don't even know what they're doing yet. There's a lot that we don't know as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the fruits of their labor, in the next year or two, when those studios that they acquired, they give them the money, give them the time. We're going to see those first party strong titles in the next year or two. But it's kind of like the long game, which is good that they're switching gears and focusing on that, because that's really how they're going to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, Callum, I think we can end it there. We really dissected this as much as we can. I know we're going to get more info in this next week, so by the time we come back, there's going to be more details, because this is kind of like the announcement of stuff, and then we start to see the details and people pick apart what the actual information is and all that.
Yeah, well, it's good to have like an immediate reaction and an immediate sort of like a post sort of show kind of thing as well, because you get to see sort of how we're feeling about it, like from a raw perspective. But by next week, we might have had some time to overthink things. We might have been able to read some things online, and our opinions might change. So it'll be cool to to get everything that we feel now out onto the table, and then revisit it next week and see what we think then as well.
Yeah, maybe this design. I'm interested to see how the design will marinate in my mind. Coming a week later, and how this will I come around stronger to it, or be more negative toward it. I'm still very positive on it, and it's because it's so different. I think it does take time to like adjust to it. But no, it's super dope, super futuristic, and I'm glad we finally got to see it. Like, that was one big thing.
Yeah.
We really wanted to see this fucking console. We actually got to see the console, and it's a happy day.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure there'll be lots of like intimate pictures now being released by Sony, and a lot more, because now they've revealed all this stuff. I think they can relax a bit and show off a bit more things in more detail, and not worry about killing their own hype kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting week. It's going to be really interesting. I'll definitely be keeping my eyes glued on on Twitter and at the respectable places anyway. And I'll be really excited to see what happens.
Nice, Callum. Yeah, we'll end it there. It's been a lengthy 2.5 hour episode, so we'll end it there. Where can they find you online?
Just Bear Monroe on Twitter is probably the best place.
Awesome. And you keep up with the show on Twitter as well, Plastic Heart Pod. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you later.